Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, Bully World? This is your host, ZEB, and tonight you're tuned in to another episode of Bully Talk with ZEB Pitts. And tonight, my very special guest is none other than Memo Loke. Memo is the founder of the Double SS Kennels, the original founder of Atomic Dog Magazine, one of the original owners of the ABKC, the founder of the IBKC, one of the first to have a show called the American Bully Show on Kush TV. That's if you're not an old head, you don't know nothing about that, man. Welcome to the show, Memo. What's going on, brother?
Chilling up, OG. Just chilling up. How's everything?
Man, everything's good, man. How was your weekend, man?
It was pretty busy, OG. Pretty busy, man. Staying busy like always. Not enough time in the day.
Man, real quick story, man. It was about 2 years ago I tried to get Memo on Bully Talk. Bobby had a show down in Virginia, and during that time, the UBKC had fell through, and he had reached out to you, and you was like, man, I got you, man, and the IBKC sanctioned that show down in Virginia. And I remember I really wanted to get out there and get that interview with you. I had to work that weekend. I said, man, I'm going to get that interview on Friday night. But it just so happened that your flight didn't get in till late that night, I remember. So, man, I'm just so glad and blessed. I'm just glad and blessed, man, that I was blessed with this radio show, man, that I can finally reach out to you, man. I'm just glad to have you on, man. Thank you.
No, that's what's up, man. Congratulate you on having a nice show that everybody's listening to. It's pretty informative, and props to you, OG.
No, thank you, man. Man, let's get right into it, man. I want people to know a little more about you, man. Tell me about growing up in Southern California, man, as a youth.
Say that again?
Talk to me about growing up in Southern California as a youth, as a youngster.
As a youth in Southern California? Wow.
Yes.
A lot of bad influences, and luckily I came from a neighborhood that was pretty hardcore, and those influences where I grew up at became a little bit more of a foundation of what I am now. I come from a place where a lot of people do dream and do make things happen. So that from growing up does inspire somebody to do whatever they want to do.
You were talking about the rough times, man. How was it like in the 80s, man?
Well, I was in the era that I grew up, it was a good it was battle zone at the time that I grew up. It's not. I mean, I still live where I grew up, and the times have changed. You know, you can walk the streets now safely without having to meet the people from the other side of the block. You know, so it's different now. My kids are growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in, and it's a totally 360. It's a lot safer here now. There's rules, and it's nothing like when I grew up here. When I grew up, it was a lot of territory fighting and a lot of bad influences. And if you went left, you went left. But if you stayed right, then you're still around.
Did you lose a lot of friends during that time?
Yeah, man. That's a hard reality growing up here in Los Angeles, man, and about that time that I grew up in, I lost a lot of friends.
Man. Why did you feel it was important to stay in the neighborhood?
The comfortability. I'm comfortable here. I've known a lot. I know a lot of people here. I've been through war here, and I'm still here. So there's no need to go nowhere. I'm official here in Los Angeles, and a lot of people love what I do. And I'm great conversation, and I'm a straight-up guy. So there's no need to leave where people think it's not safe at. It's home to me.
Man, speaking on the violence that you were talking about during that time, man, how you keep your kids away from that, man, from the streets? Is it tough?
Well, no, it's not tough at all, man. It's just basically being good parents, you know what I mean, and wanting the best for your children. Honestly, the influences that I had around me when I was growing up are no longer. I mean, they're here, but they're not here like they used to be, to where it's mandatory that you have to be from wherever you stay at, and it's not like that. There's a whole lot more recreational things that are involved with, growing up with our kids now, from church activities to sports, and there's more eyes and ears on them than it was when I grew up here. So yeah, it's not hard at all. Not hard at all. I think I'm glad everything happened. There was a lot of tragedies here in Los Angeles that have happened that's laid a foundation for things to be a whole lot better and brighter around it.
So you do see things getting a lot better out there?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's 360 out here. It's a lot safer. It's a whole lot more things going on that a lot of people wouldn't dare want to lose. So, they learn how to conduct themselves and learn how to be in public and be civilized.
Man, speaking of dreams, because you were talking about dreaming, I heard you say that a lot in interviews. As a teenager growing up out there in Cali, what did you dream of becoming?
Shit. Well, until high school, it was just surviving and making money. That's always been the brainwashing of growing up around here, is just survive and make some money. And other extra stuff wasn't about, besides, unless you had some type of talent. luckily, the talent that infused out of me was loving animals, and it made me inspired me to do a whole lot of things and create a career for myself through my hobby.
Man, before we really get into the dogs, can we talk about the history of the Double SS?
Yeah, actually, you say I'm the founder. I'm not the founder of the Double S.
No,
I'm one of the original. What was that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, the history of the Double SS Car Club, I believe.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The Double S originally is a car club, and it's for a few generations now. It's a very elite car club here in Los Angeles. And when we got into the dogs, and we didn't fall into the dog game as to be a club or anything like that. A couple of dogs were just placed upon us, and we were just taking care of them. And then they started appearing where places that usually they won't be, like in car shows and stuff like that. And then they became popular here in the inner cities, where a lot of people were starting to take care of the dogs. And it's the boiling point of starting something, not being accepted at dog shows. But those dogs have always been there. Until we started doing it, another level, is when we wanted to establish the club. It was a handful of us, literally. I'm not the founder. I'm one of the original members. And
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm glad you got on the phone clarifying that.
Yeah. The Double S started by a handful of guys from here in Los Angeles that come from different areas of Los Angeles. But more likely, we all probably couldn't hang out in the times of us growing up. We weren't allowed to use the name until we earned it, and it took a few years to earn it. But finally, we got the approval to use that name, and so the spawned Double S Kennels instead of Double S Los Angeles Car Club. It became Double S Kennels.
Let me ask you something, Memo. With the car club, a lot of people take pride in that and how their cars look. You wouldn't find a person coming to a car show with a dirty car, correct?
Yeah, no, not at all. When we tapped into the dogs and try to join them with our bigger brothers that were presidents and stuff of the clubs, that name only could go into the top notch, and you know what I mean. So of course our dogs had to be as clean as a 58 rag, getting put on display at a car show had to be top notch. Earning the championship titles and the loyalty behind it, a legacy behind earning champion with the dogs became a big issue with them. So that when you come from a full hardcore detail, just one little thing not right, and you can't show your car type of deal, then you have to, like I said, it's just like the dogs, there's rules and there's standards, and if to be top notch, you gotta be 100 with everything.
Do you find with a lot of newbies coming into the bully community that they don't take that pride?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I get to talk about that pretty well because I'm a type of person that's at a dog show almost every weekend, and I get to see what really is out there, and there is a lot of people that get in a bad name through the promotion of unhealthy dogs on the internet, but most of those dogs you'll never ever see at a dog show. The dogs you do see at a dog show are the ones that can represent themselves very well in the idea of what they have going on right now. I'm not against anybody creating their own style or look, because that would disgrace me, because that was my motivation of what I got started, was being told my style of dog wasn't appropriate.
Well, let me ask you, Memo, where did the bully start in Cali?
Well, you got to remember, man, and just in about 3 mile radius, and you had us, you had New Trojan, you had Richard, You had Jack Hohola. You got Miguel Diehard Kennels. I mean, you all these legendary kennels, original West Coast. You got June from Budhead. You had Warren Dogood kennels with Camacho and all that. You're talking about all these top-notch foundation kennels that you hear in way back in your pedigrees. We were all amongst like just not even 3 miles of each other in Los Angeles. So you could imagine the what was going on at that time, you know. So it wasn't something that was you had to go far to see or to be involved with. So yeah, in the West Coast, it was always going on from the game dogs to now to the like we used to call back then the beauty pageant dogs would be, the bigger style American bullies.
Man, yeah. Who was your mentors in the bully world during that time when you first really started getting into it?
I would say just the people I was around. We were always around dogs. We weren't really didn't have anybody particular we were looking up to at all. We was out here hustling and doing whatever we got to do, and we were always around dogs and wanting to have top-notch stuff. So, but I think we all inspired each other on our own. From me, Ray from Double S, his brother Cadillac, that rest in peace, and a few other of us, and whatever, whoever was around us, even though they're not around us anymore, we all inspired each other. You know what I mean? There really wasn't too much, going on. Dave's dogs, from Razor's Edge were already in the hood. Our homies were the first ones paying top dollar, and it was around already. Those, there was already some crazy, great-looking dogs. Rodney and those guys were, and Warren and Dogood, those guys over there. I mean, they were already legends over here, and before the dog game balled up and blew up to us.
Let me ask you, Memo, what was that first bully that gave you that wow factor? Like, damn, this is a nice bully.
A dog named Boogeyman. He was like gray line and butthead. He was bananas. I think talking about dog I've seen like probably 17 years ago, something like that.
Wow, man. What was the first big dog for the double SS camp?
That's actually funny, man. We've always had them in the backyard, not knowing. We went out and bought a lot of dogs and stuff, and all along the 2 dogs that were in the backyard, Rock and Ruby, were producing their asses off. They created great dogs for us. Those dogs were born in our yard. Anything with Rock and Ruby was double S. Although we didn't know about paperwork at the time and putting names behind stuff, that's whatever. That's another story. But Gina Jewel and those dogs, they were just ahead of their time at the time for us. Especially when we took like the second litter out, like when we had Roxzilla and Tonka and a female named Roxy. We used to go out of town with them, and it was great seeing people's eyes on the dogs and feeling good. We were, our program was working, and our dogs were creating greater dogs, and a lot of people were adapting the blood in their program and creating even better dogs. So, I mean, we were pretty lucky that, we sponsored something good.
And that Rock and Ruby will probably go down in history as probably one of the all-time best combos, correct?
Yeah, in my eyes, for sure. That's actually, I remember taking a picture of both of them for the first time and sending the picture to Cat, the guy that left us the dogs. He couldn't believe it. He told us, he was in prison at the time, but he couldn't believe seeing his dogs, in the publication and stuff like that. It's a good feeling.
Back then, the double S kennels was part of the Elite Edge, correct?
Yeah, we were a lot of us here in the area got together and we're representing that at the time. Yeah.
in your opinion, you think you ever see a big major group like that again, where it has so many top kennels under one umbrella at the time?
Oh no, there's many clubs already that exceeded those expectations. There's a lot of great clubs out there that are to this day, in my eyes, exceeded what was going on back then and stuck to home grounds and stayed true to each other. And luckily I'm a part of something like that, the Double X. We're still here. We know who is who in the zoo now, and we know who's administration and who's a soldier and so yeah, I mean it's a lot going on out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of switch on you a little bit, man. Talk to me about how Atomic Dog magazine got started.
Right here where I'm sitting at right now in my backyard in the city of Compton, California. After a few people said you're crazy and it's not going to happen, and having that vision and mission and wanting me to do it is how it spawned. And then being around a good team of guys that were having a great time, and we were innovating and putting our innovations to work. It was real good. It was a good time in the dog. It was great. It was a great groundbreaking time for the dog world.
Right now, are you still actively involved with the magazine?
No, I'm not. I'm not involved at all with the magazine at the moment. I'm pursuing something way bigger in my eyes, and it's a bigger vision. And I'm having a great time now. My family's involved with me. I feel like I'm doing something way, way bigger now, and I'm glad that I was able to do what I did with the magazine, because now, me seeing it as a dog man, I love being able to read 10, 12 different magazines now. So it's to me that's dope that I've been able to be a foundation to start something that's never been done before, and being able to give the go to a whole bunch of other people to do it, and they're doing it successfully. And as a dog man, like I said, I love it. I love seeing a lot of publications showing me different avenues and things. They're all exactly the same. None of them, to me, they're all different style. I think they're all basically, the same. There's a cool focus. They're all giving great media to the dogs.
Well, let me ask you, Memo, since you say you're not a part of it, how you feel about the direction of the magazine today, since that was your creation? How do you feel about it today?
I see it just like any other magazine now. It's just another publication. I see it being the same way for the next 10 years. I mean, if it's on long enough, I honestly have no ounce of work for it anymore. I have too much on my plate now. I've created something huge, and I'm glad I stepped back and I'm doing my own thing. I hope that all of these publications do well. It's great reading for me, and eye candy for me.
Can I ask you something, Memo? Because I heard you talk about in an interview one time. I think it was with Ralphie. How do right now? Do the ABKC come out to any of the IBKC shows?
Okay, say that again, because someone's calling me. I gotta be trying to follow. All right, say that again, because it was breaking up.
Dude, I'm sorry. I heard you talking one time with Ralphie on his show about the magazine. Do they come out and support the IBKC shows?
No, you gotta remember, Atomic Dog magazine became the first biased magazine that went one-sided. They somehow mysteriously made up a rule under my eyes that there's nothing written or nothing saying that they will not support no other registry. And so since I've seen that in my eyes as not letting me or my family eat, I said, hey, well, let me give 100% to everything I have on the plate, because I do, at that time and still to this time, I had a lot going on, and I still have a lot going on, and I'm glad I stepped down and I'm doing my own thing now. It's been able to open those doors that I wanted to get opened a whole lot quicker. And I think the best thing that's happening is that financially it's looking great for me and a lot of people now. There's no more closed doors on no one's vision in my team. Everybody gets to speak their voice. Although I'm running a registry, it's also a club, and it's a club that everybody's involved in. It's, I might be the president of it, but the good thing is, every single club member has a voice and a vision with what's going on. And and the good part of it is that I'm involved with an organization where I'm growing with the community and not making the community grow at the pace I want it. We're all going to grow together. So, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Speaking on that, Memo, man, you like to get around and talk to the people, man. Why do you find that that's important for you, to get around, man, to talk to each and every one at the show, to show your presence?
Because, I still do it to this day. Every show I'm at, I try to go to booth to booth and talk to people. And I like dogs. I like to see what people's vision is and what their vision is in their yard, what they got going on in their program. Just meeting people, what type of people they are. It's everything. I was just at a very huge event last weekend, and that's my routine. I like at the end of the show, people come up to me and be like, man, I had somebody say, that he was embarrassed because, he didn't know who I was, and I'm like, yeah, you do. You met me earlier. Same guy. Nothing's changed. It's to me, it was also something I was blind to when the success of the magazine was going on, to where I was always doing it, having a great time, and I was blind to a lot of stupidity going on. And but what kept me going and things going was because it was always the dogs first. They were the stars. No, it doesn't matter what creation you made or what kennel you're from. At the end of the show, the stars are the dogs. And the minute you don't have them first, then I don't see the purpose. And I've always felt that way. I always used to like being at the shows, and I still do. Helping people set up and talk dog, and when the cameras go off, it's flashing on dogs, not people. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody has stars in this. I think the stars are the animals. There's a couple of people that go out their way and do a whole lot more better. Great to reward them and all that. But at the end of the day, the stars are the dogs to me. And the minute you lose focus of them,
let me follow up with that then. You think Facebook hurt the community? Because now everybody thinks they're stars?
No, not at all. I think it's even better because you get to really, really learn. You get to learn and see, what's great out there and what's not great out there. You get to see who's full of shit and who's not full of shit. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's the basis of the dog game. It's the best thing of the dog game. You get to find out who's full of shit real fast. And some of them hide their shit pretty well for a few years, but at the end of the day, you're gonna smell their shit. So it is what it is.
Hey man, for the newbies that don't know, man, you had a show called the American Bully Show on Kush TV. How did that whole concept come about, man? Let the newbies know, man, who has no idea about the American Bully Show on Kush TV, how that came about.
Yeah. Well, just like creating the first ever lifestyle dog magazine of its kind, you've got to remember the magazine. There was never anything like that in the world, and it's growing. It opened the doors for us to have a whole lot more fun. And here came video cameras, and So I wanted to capture on video the fun I was having creating the magazine. And not only that, I wanted people to see the fun I was having creating relationships with other kennels around the world and letting people hear their voice and see their faces and hear their missions and see their dogs. You know, and putting it on camera, like I said, it was like another invention. It was great to see a bunch of other people now doing that. You know, to me, at the end of the day, I was.
That was one of my inspirations of doing what I'm doing. To be honest with you, man, that's one of my inspirations to doing what I'm doing when I saw that, man. That's why I just go out and talk to people, ask how they are, what their dogs are, where their dogs are from, and everything, man. So I really appreciate it, man. Real talk.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm glad you appreciate hard work, because it was a lot of hard work, man. I left home for a lot of years, man, and missed a lot of birthdays and did a lot of hard work. Although it seemed like a lot of fun on camera or in publications, magazines, it was a lot of hard work, and it took a lot of my wife and my kids, and it was a great ride and a hard road, and now again it's still a great ride, you know. So yeah, it was dope, man. It was just having fun and being creative at the time, you know. And like I said, just to me it's dope going on YouTube and seeing like another 10, 12 different shows, and you know, to me it's just fun, you know. I'm happy with it.
Man, speaking on that, man, 'cause like you said, you missed a lot of birthdays and family time. Looking back on that, would you do it all over again?
Oh yeah, man, I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. The good thing is my family's a whole lot more involved. My team and friends we're all involved, and the good thing is, you know, we're eating and everything's lovely. You know what I mean? There's no more boundaries for me. It's go ahead and go and keep making dreams reality.
Let me ask you something, Memo. Was you the one that come up with the phrase "keep it bully"?
Yeah, it was me. I invented that. Yep.
Yeah. Man, how'd that come about, man? A lot of people don't know that, man. Keep it bully. You the one who started that, man.
Yeah. At the time, there was a lot of keep it 100, keep it this, keep it that. And I think it was in an interview. I said, I'm not going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it bully. Because we were talking about bullies heavily at that time, and it just came out like a freestyle. You know, like one of my hot rhymes.
Man, you ever trademark that?
Nah, man. I think whatever I create with the dogs belongs to the dogs and the dog people.
I hear you, man. Hey, let me ask you, man, what year did you start the IBK scene, and why did you find that it was necessary to go off and start your own registry, man?
Plain and simply, my vision and everything I had going on was going left, and instead of I kept going left and started chasing my tail, I decided to just go off and do my own thing and create my own club and you know, and use my established relationships that I had at the moment and keep having fun, because I wasn't having fun anymore. And I wasn't seeing purpose for it. And I think it was going to be real bad for the dogs, because I'm thinking myself as a pretty good pioneer for them and spokesman for what I do for them. So I kept going, and here we are today, you know, it's all over the world. You know, we've had our first shows in Dubai, Egypt, you know, we're going into places Americans really can't go. I would love for the dogs, you know what I mean? It's good to be able to, you know, to relate to a lot of people and break boundaries with a lot of people. It's pretty dope, you know what I mean? The team I have now, I mean, you got the energy from people that are getting involved, and as long as we could, you know, focus that energy the right way, I mean, it's successful. It's great. We brought a lot of excitement and anticipation back to the bully world that was much needed. And we did our trial and error around the world and fine-tuned everything, and now we're back home here in the States getting busy.
I mean, let me ask you, Memo. Right before the show, y'all do something where you pray before the show. What? Tell me about that.
Yeah, there hasn't been an event that I've had that where we don't bless the event. Even people that believe in Satan, they believe in something. No matter what. No matter what religion you are, you bless yourself. And I say before any dog event, first of all, because just having a dog show is a blessing. And so it was just something that I can't have a dog show go on without, period. And so we bless the people coming to the show, we bless the people that got there, the judges, that they do great decisions, and that everything goes good. It's it's an opening prayer. And it's a must, and it's in the guidelines of the IBKC.
Really? I didn't know that. So that's a must.
Yeah, we have to bless our events before anything starts. You got to remember, man. Us. We do whatever we have to do, so the dog show, goes according to order. We're totally responsible for what happens in the ring. I mean, outside of the ring, however the venue is going, that has nothing to do with us. What we have to do is make sure the judges are doing correctly and the show's being conducted correctly.
Talk to me, Memo, about the Atomic Dog Bully Show. Was that the biggest show you were a part of?
Yeah, I invented nationals too. You don't know that, but I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, the Atomic Dog Super Bully Show.
Talk to me.
Was actually the first ABKC, big nationals. And yeah, you're talking about an event that I was also told I couldn't pull off. And yeah, it was huge. We had a $100,000 budget, and it went well. It went super well. I'm glad I was already on another level of production to be able to capture it on video and do all that stuff I did with it. It was a breaking point of being able to establish a co-relationship with the city of Los Angeles that I have now, animal control, LAPD, and the fire department, and everybody else. And not only that, I mean, I was able to grab the Parker and Gabble Yukonuba sponsorship through that event. I'm the person that brought them in and got them involved with me and made them believers of what I'm doing. And yeah, that first Atomic Dog Super Bully Show was taking the dog show mainstream into another level. And it was also a cold little dream I had that it became reality, and which is something I'm bringing back.
Were you a little nervous during that time? Because during that time you probably was bringing people from all different communities who probably weren't getting along with each other at that time for the common good of the American bully. How was that able to pull that off?
Yeah, you got that right. Pulling that off was something else. But when you're official right here and you're not a piece of shit, you can talk to people and make things happen. I've had over 20 different thousand neighborhoods being represented. Different, let's say it, like in the mainstream level, I had about 20 different thousand representation of different gangs from all of Southern California and Northern California at my event. And yeah, it was peace, and we all knew we were there. LAPD riot was outside because they knew they were there, and you know what? Another thing that showed light was that we were all there with our families and our kids and our moms, and we were showing, that hey, you know what? We can make change here in Los Angeles. Yeah, there are thousands of pit bulls and gang members here, but you know what? It's all love, and I'm pretty glad we were able to establish that here in Los Angeles at that time.
Let me ask you this then. During that time, did you get a lot of opposition from the powers that be, like the city councils and stuff like that, to try to stop that event?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Luckily, I've befriended some great people that have great influences and are official here in Los Angeles, street-wise and legally-wise. It's where everybody came to an agreement to let this happen. And the property we did it in, they had a big say-so in it. And they supported my vision, and they helped me pull it off. I was very blessed. That's why it's a big part about blessing dog shows, because they're a blessing. You know, you're talking about pulling something off that's hard to pull off, honestly.
And let me ask you, Memo, because like you said, you was the one who really got that event, probably the biggest event ever in American Bully history. Do you see that? Do you see yourself having another show that can overtake that particular show?
I was at a show last weekend that exceeded that already.
Whoa.
I was at a show that exceeded that already. Everything that I've been building is coming. I mean, that didn't go away. You know what I mean? I took a little break. Yeah, I had to get back down and build foundations again. Cool, but that don't go away. Everything I do is big, and it's gonna stay like that. March 8th in Ohio, you're gonna see that's gonna be big, and I'm getting down with Machiavelli over there, and then we bring it back to LA April 5th, and that's gonna be super huge. Everything we're doing now is exceeding what we did in the past. Why? Because, you know, we're the ones, you know, creating. We're the ones with the vision. We're the ones with the foundation of making things happen. You know what I mean? It's our sponsors are back on board. I'm glad we have two dog food companies that are involved with us that are owned by the same company. Evo and Yukonuvo are on board with us, and they say they're going to take us to wherever we want to go, as long as, you know, we keep doing what we're doing. And I'm glad that we have a great backbone with them, and everybody else that's supporting us, you know, throughout the world and here. You know, I'm working here back at home now, and I feel like I never left. It's great, you know, being able to come back again. Here, all the kennels I established relationships throughout the years, you know, and they're still there, and they're 100. You know, it's pretty cool. We're kicking it off pretty big. We're going to set off the Midwest pretty good. You know, we're going to establish pretty good the Midwest, get that cracking again, get everything back on point there. Like I said, March 8th we got an event. Then we're going to be back May 24th at the Chicago Fire Stadium, doing a big event with Outlaw Kennels and Anthrax there. April 5th we're doing it big here at home. And for whoever don't know, I mean, you probably know already, anybody in the dog game is going to be there, from the baddest American correct bullies to what they call, you know, the micro bullies now, the ones that can walk and show and look good, not those dogs that look crazy on the internet. Come see the real ones. Come see the ones. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I like to
what's your thoughts
on
on exotics and micros? What's your thoughts on that, man? Because you've seen the ones that are correct. You've seen the correct ones out there in Cali, man.
Look,
with the edge of Cali and stuff, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like a bigger dog. I'm a 70 to 85 pound. I like a bigger dog, but I've seen these dogs the ones I've seen at the shows. Beautiful, phenomenal, healthy, look great. You know, and I feel bad that they get a bad name through a lot of people seeing their vision, not being able to complete that vision, and have to go left to try to make that vision, and that's pretty fucked up. And I'm glad that we're able to create a voice for them, you know, and a standard for them through the IBK scene. That way people can see that, you know. In every breed you have fucked up dogs, but, you know, and in every breed you have great-looking dogs. And there's a lot of great-looking dogs out there, from the Jawbreakers, the Sushis, the Canelos, the French Montanas. I mean, some of those dogs in person are phenomenal, and you appreciate them. And you know, I think that's the main thing about establishing these great big events that people anticipate to go, is that you be able to see these type of dogs that you can appreciate there now. And of course, there's not going to be nobody there with their garbage, because we're going to tell them it's garbage. You know, because we're going to keep it real in the battlefield, straight up. You know what I mean?
Man.
And if you can't keep it real in the battlefield, then come out to the war. So it is what it is. So, yeah, I welcome everybody to come see how your dog is supposed to look like, because there's a lot of dogs out there that represent their standards. From micros to American bullies to XLs, there are a lot of dogs that represent their standard very well. Come look at them, and come see what you're supposed to have if you don't have it. And that's basically what it is. You know what I mean? Bringing back the excitement into what we created. You know what I mean? And opening the eyes and wowing people again. You know, that's what it is. You know what I mean? And you'll see it. You'll see it again on our multimedia Facebooks and all that, the pictures of these great dogs at events. You don't see many of them because why? Because the events have become boo-boo. And the people that are doing them are corny. You know what I mean? And they're not up to beat. You got to be up to beat. You got to be up with the time. You got to create want, need, desire. You know what I mean? If you ain't there doing it, then, hey, step back and let the true ones handle it. There shouldn't be that many dog shows going on with no significance, without being able to establish something of a purpose for why you did an event. You know, then we've lost that. Every time we did an event, there was a meaning, a purpose. We were solving something. You know what I mean? And everybody had lost kind of track, man. And you know, and I'm glad we're back on track, and it's going down with the IBKC leading it.
Oh, well, let me ask you this, Memo. With the bully community, how is it perceived in other countries right now?
Well, right now, I mean, it's
do you see that same excitement?
Oh, man, right now it's a big bully party. Right now it's a big, and we're starting to feel it here. We're starting to get the vibe here. There's no denying that. There's no denying that. We're bringing the vibe everywhere now. Next weekend we're going to be at a dog show, and you know, and the anticipation for it has built, and it's great. It's going to be huge, and we're bringing out a couple surprises. You know, like you tapped into the Double S. You know, a lot of great things came from us members. You know what I mean? Some of us created magazines, TV shows. Some of us are great artists, car builders, bike builders, you name it. And there's also a member from the Double S that's a boxer, and he's fighting on pay-per-view March 8th. And we're filming almost every day with the all access 24/7 before the fight. And I'm bringing those cameras to the dog show so people can see. You know what I mean? Some of those. Yeah, exactly. So we'll be filming next weekend at a dog show. With Virgil Hunter and Alfredo Angulo will be with me, and we'll be awarding Alfredo, you know, for his hard work, because he's opened a lot of doors and gotten dogs in places that you would never see them at. You know what I mean? And big ups to him for being a great soldier for the American bully. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's doing things with meaning and purpose. You know what I mean? And not just you know, like it is. You know, it's got to be spectacular. Our dogs still have a lot of problems, and we still got to exceed how we're showing them in public.
You've been around the world. What are some of the special places that just come to mind that you've been to, looking at the American bullies? Some special places like, damn, I really had a great time here.
Oh, man, there hasn't been a place yet. I've had a great time everywhere, from North Carolina to Baltimore, you name it, everywhere. I mean, everywhere. It's been a blessing being able to enjoy my job and my hobby, taking it to another level like that. It's the same thing everywhere, honestly. The same thing, and the good of the dog game exceeds all the garbage that comes with it. The good exceeds it, and that's what keeps things going for me, and you know, and that's what keeps things going, and it inspires people to keep doing things like you're doing now, and you're doing your radio show now.
Man, yeah, it's a blessing, man, just to get on the air and do what I'm doing, man. I'd never imagined that 7 years ago, even 10 years ago, that I'd be doing something like this, man. So I feel blessed right now. Speaking on that, in your wildest dreams, have you ever imagined that the American bully would take you around the world like this? I mean, and just put people on that you knew in the neighborhoods to where they actually can make a living dealing with the American bully?
No, of course not. No, I don't think there's enough of us humans that have that talent of remembering what we dream and try to execute them. I'm just probably one of the lucky ones of being able to pursue that as a crazy man and be able to do it. Yeah, no, it exceeded my expectations of it.
Well, let me ask you, Memo. You probably experienced some up and downs in your life. What's the toughest thing you ever had to deal with, and how did you overcome it?
Losses, man. Like you said in the beginning of your interview, that was I was kind of surprised by it. But I think overcoming losses of great friends and family members. You got to remember the person that sparked all of this for us, and more heavily for me, in the middle of the success of the magazine and the dog shows, was killed. And it was like, it made us almost not want to do anything anymore. And, yeah, I think that was probably the hardest loss I've had. And since I've been doing something on a professional level, was losing Cat.
Man, so so what was the most rewarding experience you had in the bully world?
That's a lot of them. It's still giving me great experiences. It's still giving me smiles that I can't take off my face. I don't think I'll ever stop having them, because we constantly here in the lab creating things and making it happen. And I don't know. That's a good one.
You plan on bringing back the American Bully show, man?
Yeah, we're bringing it back. We already started filming for it. We'll be releasing it. It'll be out on demand. On demand is carried by a lot of cable networks, and you'll be able to tune in and just pay your $3.99 and watch it.
Oh man, you get a chance to see a lot of dogs, man. Well, what's some of the bullies you like today?
I'm stuck in my yard, man. I'm stuck on rock and ruby stuff. I'm blind to my rock and ruby stuff. So, and actually, I'm not really doing too much. I'm not allowed to show or do anything like that. I've lost that a long time ago, promoting breedings and all that stuff. I really don't do that anymore. I have own a lot of dogs, and but I'm really not involved in the bully world that way anymore.
Well, all right. Well, let me ask you this then. Yeah, well, who's your all-time favorite bully then? Or is that too hard to really name?
Oh no, man. Roxy, Double S Roxy. Man,
and what made her special?
She looked like a male. Everybody that seen her thought she was a male. She was ahead of her time. She was litter mates to Tonka and Roxzilla.
Would you say that was your best litter?
Nah, actually, basically every breeding we did together as a group. And so, a lot of dogs were created here. A lot of badass dogs were created here. I can't lie. So, I mean, it's an endless amount of, even to this day, we have a dog named Hutch that's phenomenal. We still exceeding, outproducing ourselves, which is something I can still say.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Would you say the best dogs come from Cali?
Nah, I think the best dogs come with people sticking to their own vision and to their own program. You the baddest dog here in Cali, there's one just like it in New York, in the East Coast. They just haven't been in the same playing field together. Same thing. I was in Europe. I was in Holland and seen some guy with his whole yard, and way in the back was the best dog in the yard, and he didn't even know it. And yeah, that's one thing I think I have that's pretty dope. That I get to see a lot of great dogs. I get to see the best of the best.
And let me ask you something, Memo. Compare the bully community in the beginning to now.
It was a lot of hunger in the beginning. There was a lot of hunger and a lot of avenues to go, and no matter which avenue you went was going to be kind of a good one, as long as you stuck to the same focus of the dogs. And a lot of those avenues were able to feed a lot of people real good. The only thing is that, once some of us stomachs were full, we, kind of changed our ways. And the good thing, a lot of us didn't change our ways, and we're still doing what we're doing, with the vision of the dogs. I feel now that the way the dog game's going now is like at the beginning. A lot of people are hungry again. A lot of people are excited and having fun again. And I'm glad it's back to that. I'm glad we went left a little bit, and I'm glad we're back right again. We're having great times at the shows again. We can't wait to get there, and we don't want to leave. It is what it is.
Well, let me ask you this, Memo. Was it a time it wasn't fun for you? Like you really wasn't into it for a period of time?
Yeah, about 2 years ago. I got to the point to where I knew I had made some bad decisions, and I just had to chalk them up and start from scratch. But it is what it is. You live and learn. I'm glad. A lot of people there. I've always seen it and heard it, and say, hey, you got to fall first before you get to the top. And I used to think that was stupid. But I'm glad it kind of happened. I'm glad that I'm doing my own thing now and having a good ass time doing it again.
Let me ask you this one, Memo. Speaking on the bully community as a whole, could you ever see a mega show happening with the IBKC, USBR, RKC, ABKC, where you take the champs from each registry and have a battle it out for the Supreme American Bully? Do you think that could ever happen, or too many egos might get in the way of that, or politics?
Well, I don't know about that. All I can speak on is what we do, and what we do is at another level. And they could have, we could have all of their champions come compete with us. It doesn't matter. I mean, my focus is to making big events, meaningful events, problem-solving events, and taking them to another level. The vision that I have is a cold vision. And it's a vision that I'm already seeing on my sites, and it's going to be lovely, and it's going to have to meet. It's going to become to where I have to create, something bigger than whatever I thought, because it's going that way now. My goals and my goals are the goals of everybody. A lot of people have a lot of visions and a lot of things they want to do, but more likely they could probably never do them. But in group as a club, I think we could exceed and make them happen now. So besides what anybody else wants to do, I know what we want to do and how we're going to do it. And I don't see us taking too long doing it. I say at the end of this year, I see a lot of people involved in one huge event, meaningful event.
Where would that event take place?
That would be up to the club members. Everybody that's involved with IBKC, we would take a poll. Yeah, which means you and everybody else would have to speak their word, and where it's going to be more effective for the dog community. You know, we plan on doing some spectacular stuff. We're doing tournaments. We're doing, you know, we're doing some big things all around the world. And the good thing is we're unifying the world. You know, we have something called International Grand Champion, which means you traveled the world and kicked ass to get that title. And the titles, the titles that we have set upon with the IBKC are no joke. I mean, if you say you have an IBKC champion, then that's a whole lot meaningful than being champion anywhere else, because it's 100 points more. You got to show them there are way more judges, and you can't just do it in your backyard. You got to move and shake and be in other places. So when someone says they have a champion, it means a whole lot more. So I mean, you know, what we're doing is at another level and a bigger mission and purpose for what we got going on for the dogs. Like, you know, like we said, they're first, and the first thing we're going to do is make them shine to another level that you can't imagine, to where it becomes a national sport. So it's just our dreamings on paper now, and we're executing them.
Talk to me, Memo, about the judging process and what scrutiny a judge has to go through in the IBKC. What are they allowed to do and not to do?
Well, that's not really hard. I mean, they could do whatever they want. You know what I mean? That a dog fanatic has to do every and anything possible, no matter organization they're at. You know, you got to remember, Little League Baseball is bigger than this. Women's tennis is bigger than this. So, you know, I don't put any limits on any of our judges or anybody involved with me. If there's a dog show in your backyard and you're into this, you should be there representing no matter what organization it is. Our world isn't that big, and we should all, you know, support each other no matter what flag you have up. And that's how I see it.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get some clarity on that. But what's something, man, that people might not know about you, man, that you want to let people know about you, man? What's something that people might not know that you want to let people to know about you?
Well, I don't know. I'm a pretty open person. Not hard to conversate with, not hard to get to know, and for sure I don't close the doors on anybody, no matter what it is. Even if it's something I'm doing now, to me, like I said, it whatever, if I do something to inspire somebody, to me that's great to me. It touches me inside, feeling that I created to do something and someone else is going to do it also. It makes me feel not too embarrassed to do it, you know?
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I asked Fabian this question last week, so I'm going to ask you the same question this week. When it's all said and done, what would you like for your legacy to be in the bully community?
Wow. I guess when I can sit back and be like, don't want to do nothing anymore, and I can sit back and think about that, because I think everything I'm creating creates a legacy for me. We're in the times to where whatever we could create and make mainstream with it, it's going to establish a legacy, because this is new. From creating bully shows to another level, because it's new, to publications, to TV shows, to even having on people's pedigrees, Rock and Ruby. I think all of that, all in general, has created a legacy for me and my whole circle. So I already see myself being remembered hundreds of years from now because of what my hard work with what I've done already. The magazine could end tomorrow. IBKC could end tomorrow, and it would still be remembered for hundreds of years. And you know, so whatever I'm doing now, you know, all it is just adding on to the legacy that I created already.
Man, I got to say, man, I really appreciate your time today, man, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, man, for coming on. Man, is there any last shout-outs you want to give, man, before we wrap this up?
Just shout out to everybody, man, doing their thing. Everybody putting these dogs in front of their cameras and putting a little bit more passion to your hobby when it comes with you being with your dogs. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that practices in their backyard how to show and try to win the ribbon. Shout out to anybody busting their ass to try to make a dog show happen. You know, shout out to everybody, all the radio shows going on. My boy Jack, the Monster Jack, Caesar at the Bully Tunnel, Israel at the Keep It Bully magazine, the Bullseye magazines, the Stacked Up magazine, and everybody that has a vision of representing these dogs in a good way. Shout out to you guys, and just straight up, you know, keep it bully.
Man, I really, again, man, I appreciate you coming on today, man.
That's what's up, man. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Memo.
All right, that's what's up.
Man, you've tuned in to another episode of Bully Talk with ZEB Pitts, man. I just want to thank Memo, my guest, for coming on today. And, man, I'm going to end the night on a good note, man. So here it is. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Say goodbye for now. We'll have our second time around. But before you go, there's something I'd like to say. Everything's not what it seems. There's a stronger force behind the scenes. He's in your life every day. He's right there when we call. In him is where my strength lies. I lift my eyes beyond the sky. Only he can save my life, and only he can hear my cry. I wanna thank you, God, for giving me one more day to raise my voice and to sing your praise. I sing it out loud, I sing it all day. This song is my prayer I give to only you. I know it can't compare to the gift from you. You gave me your love. You gave me your son. Oh, yes you did. Oh, hey. I know there's some who don't believe. Sometimes it's very hard to see. You live this old life every day. Some things don't go your way. But to be without is not his will. There's cattle on 1,000 hills and they're all yours to claim. To claim a minute holy name. You don't have to beg a crown, no. He can see you standing proud and tall. He'll give it everlasting love. Just come to him as you are. I wanna thank you, God, for giving me one more chance to raise my voice and to sing your praise. I sing it out loud, hey, I sing it all day. This song is my prayer I give to only you. I know it can't compare to the gift from you. You gave me your love. You gave me your son. I wanna thank you, God, for giving me one more chance to raise my voice and to sing your praise. I sing it out loud, oh, I sing it all day. This song is my prayer I give to only you. I know it can't compare to the gift from you. You gave me your love. Now I say amen.